Today's lesson has to do with rotations. You notice that a turn around a fixed point is called the center of rotation. The figure rotates at a specific angle and direction. So if you have x, y, then if you look at the rotation, we have x, y, it goes into the first quadrant, and you notice that the y and the x switch places, and the y becomes negative. When you go 180 degrees, we have x, y, we notice that the x and the y have to be opposite in value. And then for 270 degrees, it's going to be in quadrant 4, the other one's in quadrant 3. You notice that the x and the y switch and the x is negative. We're going to go ahead and do some examples. Remember that it's going to follow this pattern. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move the screen a little bit up, and then we'll kind of refer back to the rules going counterclockwise around the origin. So to rotate this triangle, we notice that the original, for example, A is at 2, 7. So when we rotate around the origin, it's going to change the x and the y values. So we have the y is going to be now the x. And so you're going to have negative 7, comma, and then it's going to be 2. The next point is 6, 5. So we have 6, comma, 5. So we have to switch the 6 to the 5. So we have 5, comma, 6. And we know that the x value is going to have to be negative. B, 6, 5, C is going to be 4, 1. So to find where the order pairs when it's rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise, it's going to be 1, comma, 4, and that's a negative. So this was A prime, this is B prime, and this is C prime. So let's go ahead and graph that. So there's our rotation. So remember that when you're rotated in counterclockwise, and we need to get to A prime, B prime, and C prime, you have to switch the x and the y, and then of course the x becomes negative. The next one we're going to do is 180 degrees, okay? What I want you to notice is when we graph the image, and I'm going to go ahead and graph that. When I graph this square, let's say I go 180 degrees, if I go counterclockwise, it's going to be in quadrant 3. If I go clockwise, I still end up in quadrant 3. So it's going to follow that same pattern. So for example, P is at 2, 6. So if we do a rotation of 180 degrees, it's going to be negative 2, negative 6, which is going to be in the third quadrant. If we have the next order pair, which is 6, 5, and we do a rotation of 180 degrees, it's going to be negative 6, negative 5. And then, of course, the first one was P, the second one was Q, the next one is R, and R is going to be 5, 1. So we do a rotation. It's going to be negative 5, negative 1. And of course, if we have S, S is 1, 2. So that's going to go to negative 1, negative 2. So now I'm going to go ahead and graph P prime, Q prime, and R prime. So I just went ahead and wrote down the new coordinates of R prime, S prime, Q prime, and P prime. So now we're going to rotate 270 degrees counterclockwise. So for example, we have J, which is 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's J. Now to find J prime, we're going to switch the x and the y. So in this case, it's going to be 4, 3, and now we're going to make the y value negative. K prime is 6, 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be K. So now to find K prime, we switch. So it's going to be 4, 6, and this becomes negative. L prime, or L, we have 6, 7, 8, 1. That's going to be L. So we're going to switch. So we have 1, 8, and that's negative. And then we have M as 1, 1. So we're going to switch the 2 and the y becomes negative. So here's our trapezoid. Now to rotate it, we're going to go ahead and plot J prime. So J prime, it's going to be 270. So it's going to land in quadrant 4. 90, 180, 270, 90, 180, 270. So it should land in quadrant 4. So we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be J prime. K prime, it's going to be 4, negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's K prime. 1, negative 8. We have 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So that one will be L prime. And then I prime is going to be 1, negative 1. That's I prime. So here's my trapezoid. And it's been rotated 270 degrees. And the center rotation is the origin. The center rotation is the origin. Triangle XYZ with the vertices 3, negative 2. We have 3, negative 2, so that's going to be X. We have 6, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So that will be Y. And then 5, negative 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is Z. So we have X, Y, Z. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the points. And here's our triangle. We are going to rotate this. So it's going to be X prime is going to be the opposite of 3, which is negative 3. Negative 3. And the opposite of negative Y is 2. So we have negative 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 2. So this is X prime. Y prime is going to be negative 6, negative 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 1. So we have Y prime. Z is going to be negative 5, 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have Z prime. And so this is going to be a rotation of 180 degrees. So in this particular problem, we have PQRS has vertices 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 1, and 3, 0. What is a graph of R, the rotation after 90 degrees? So you're going to switch 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 4, 0, 3. So I switched it, and now this will be the opposite its value, so it's negative, 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 and negative. So now I'm going to use a different color to indicate the rotation. So we have 1, negative 1, 1, negative 1, so that's P prime. 3, negative 3, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's S prime. 1, negative 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will be R prime. And then 0, 1, 2, 3. So that will be S prime. So we're going to connect the points. So we have P prime, S prime, P prime, Q prime, but what was Q prime? 3, -3, this is Q prime, R prime, and S prime. So now we're doing 180 degree rotation, so it's going to be -1, -1. Q prime will be -3, -3. R prime will be -4, -1. And S prime will be -3, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and graph P prime, -1, -1, that's P prime. Q prime, -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, 3. So that's Q prime. R prime is going to be -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. So that's R prime. And then -3, 0. So that will be S prime. We connect the points, and there's our rotation of 180 degrees. It says PQRS has vertices, and they're the vertices. What is a graph of the rotation? Now you notice that 270 comes after or comes before the 0. This is counterclockwise. So the rule will be X, Y. For counterclockwise, it's going to be Y, -X. That's going to be counterclockwise. So we have P, which is 1, 1. So it's going to be 1, -1. Q, which is 3, 3, which is going to be 3, -3. R, which is 4, 1, which is going to be 1, 4, it's -4. And then S will be 0, 3. S will be 3, 0. And then when we do the rotation, it's going to be 0, -3. So we're going to go to 1, 1, -1. So that's P prime. Three, -3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's Q prime. 1, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's R prime. And then we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So that will be S prime. So if I connect the points, there is our figure. When you're doing the rotation, I recommend you write down, for example, here you're going to write down the ordered pair, which is -3, 2, and this is F, right? And then just go and write down what is the transformation. So in this case, it's going to be 2, 3. That's for F. We have I 0, 1. So once again, it's going to change 1, 0. That's I. H is -1, -1. So that's going to change. We have -1, 1. And then G is -3, -1. So that changes to -1, 3. And then preferably use a different color so you can kind of see the transformation take place. So we're going to have 2, 3, -1, 1, 2, 3. Connect the points. Go ahead and connect the points. and we have the rotation. So we have H prime, and then we have G prime, and we have 2, 3, so that's going to be F prime, and the other one is I prime. And here are vertices. So we have P as 2, 6, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's P 6, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's Q 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So that's R. And then S is going to be 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're going to go ahead and connect the points. And we're looking for our rotation, 180-degree rotation. So this will have to be -2, -6. This will be -6, -5. R prime is -5, -1. S prime is -1, -2. So let's go ahead and graph this. We have -2, -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be P prime. Q prime is -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be Q prime. R prime will be -5, -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1. So that's R prime. And then we have S prime, which is -1, -2. So that's S prime. Connect the points. And there's our rotation. If this triangle XYZ has vertices 3, -2, so we have 3, -2, so that's X, Y 6, 1, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. So we have 3, X is going to be 3, -2, Y is going to be 6, 1. So that's Y, and then we have a Z, which is 5, -7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So that's Z. So to find the new coordinates, and I'm going to go ahead and connect these points. We have X, Y. So when we find the new coordinates, all we have to do is change the value of both the X and the Y. And so I'm going to go ahead and use a different color. So we have -3, 2, -6, -1, -5, 7. So -3, 1, 2, 3, 2. So that's X prime. -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1. That's Y prime. -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's Z prime. Connect the points. Y prime, X prime, Z prime, and there it